Many people have already talked about the Roblox anime drought, making videos describing that we are in one, and I'm sure you all know that we are in one, so I won't waste your time with that. So my goal today is to explain why we are in an anime Roblox drought, and it actually goes way deeper than you might expect on the surface. At first, you might expect it to be because some developers just started cash grabbing and not putting effort into their game, which is definitely part of it. How some creators promised giant updates to revamp the game, but never did it. How some creators had to abandon their games, which definitely are all huge parts of why these games have started to die out, but it goes way deeper than this. Social media. Now, obviously at the surface, you would say, what could that possibly have to do with anime Roblox and the Roblox drought we are in? Which is expected, right? The two seem 100% non-correlated, but you are mistaken. Let's zoom out of the anime Roblox real quick and just look at Roblox in general. All the current games that are staying afloat are brain-rotted and fast-paced. It's almost like these games are meant to give you a quick hit of fun. Now compare this to some of the games of the past, like Deep Woken or Project Slayers, for example, which instead of giving you a quick hit of gaming in a live service style, gives you this expansive world to explore with monsters at every corner and plenty of land to explore and conquer. But if Deep Woken has way more to do, way more to explore and achieve, why does it lose so horribly to these fast-paced, more shallow games? Well, this is where we must circle back to social media, as I mentioned earlier. COVID-19 really hit the world hard. We were all restricted to our homes, all lonely, all seeking that dopamine feel-good chemical that gets activated from the interactiveness with people, places, and experience that we got from being in the real world. So what was our solution? Well, scrolling away at TikTok at first. And I could go into a long explanation about how we fell into this trap and how it affected us, but this is a Roblox video, so I'll get to the point. After years of scrolling on not just TikTok anymore, but all scrolling apps, we all lost our attention spans. And as a result, the kids of this generation and us all lost our attention spans, and they're not the same as they used to be. And as a result, the kids of this generation and us, who have spent 5 years now consuming constant hits of dopamine since 2020, can't enjoy these games with depth anymore. Just think of it. If I was able to give you a cheeseburger every 10 seconds, or you could spend 2 hours making your own steak, you're gonna eat the cheeseburger. Now, if I can give you a dopamine hit every 10 seconds from scrolling social media or by playing a live service style game that gives you instant dopamine constantly every time you kill someone, why would you then spend the time to sit down and play a long, calm game with a beautiful world and environment? But first, you have to spend hours exploring and conquering this world to get that dopamine. And while the dopamine is more high quality like the steak, who would wait 2 hours for the higher quality, more memorable dopamine you get from gameplay in an immersive, expansive world when they can just eat the burger now? We these days simply don't have the patience to play higher quality, deeper games because social media and even Roblox itself has trained our brain to always seek short-term dopamine reward from the swipe of a finger or from an extremely simple brain rot Roblox game instead of an open world game based on adventure. Matter of fact, do you know what I've realized in my research for this video? The anime games that are staying afloat the most right now are, you guessed it, some of these fast-paced, live service style games with a lack of an open world that just has good combat and effects. Look at the strongest battlegrounds, Jujutsu Shenanigans, games like Attack on Titan Revolution where you just press the play button, kill some titans for a few minutes, rinse and repeat. Just like how you scroll to the next video, watch for a minute, rinse and repeat. The reason why Roblox is in a drought of these immersive open world games we used to have where you could have your own unique adventure is because our attention spans and patience for higher quality dopamine reward has been devolved at every single angle in the past 5 years since COVID. Why should I go and watch this movie when I can watch shorts and get a cheap dopamine hit every 30 seconds? Why should I play an open world game and wait for my higher quality dopamine when I can simply hop on the strongest battlegrounds and get some hits of dopamine in a few minutes by killing a couple people with my abilities that I didn't work for? Or hop on Blox Fruits and kill a group of NPCs 50 times? This problem is so replicated across all aspects of our lives and on Roblox that the reason why we lack good games is because the developers of these Roblox games have caught on before you did. These developers have realized that we are no longer trained for a detailed, well-built, open-world masterpiece like we used to. That way of getting dopamine is too long, too difficult. You have to wait for travel distance to get to the next island. You have to deal with the fact that you may not find something interesting in this area that you explore. You will have to gather resources, and while the reward at the end is greater and something that you can look back on as not as a waste of time, but something beautiful, we simply don't want to wait that long anymore. We want to hit play and start killing a bunch of NPCs. We don't want world building, but a simple but stimulating, instantly rewarding format that doesn't require thinking, much like scrolling on social media. Now, Do we have better attention spans than these kids who grew up with the scrolling and video game format? Sure we do, but I'm not gonna lie, our ability to play games with depth has definitely been shot as well. Think about it. If I said get off YouTube right now, or if you were on TikTok and I said get off and get on Minecraft and start a single player world and progress it for longer than a week, would you even be able to do it, or does that just sound like too much? Would you choose that tastier but effort-filled steak over just scrolling and grabbing another burger? And I'm not saying I'm immune to this. This has affected all of us, and understandably so. It's not really like it's our fault. We hopped on a seemingly harmless app a couple years ago and we got addicted and dopamine rewired. And these developers just simply adapted to the change. GPO started focusing on its non-world related game modes like BR or Impel Down Dungeons. Battleground games kept on cruising with the overwhelming amount of players. Blox Fruits' format is already extremely simple. You hop on, kill 6 NPCs over and over again, hear some cool sound effects, and then hop off, so it's doing just fine. However, while this is a big reason for the drought of Roblox and the wave of brain rot that has taken it over in general, there is obviously more to it. A series of unfortunate events has plagued each and every game that we used to love and adore, or the game has simply gotten dry. The developers of Project Slayers had to abandon the game because the base coding was hard to update with, so they began developing Project Slayers 2. And GPO, well, you basically gave up on the One Piece experience he had going, although I heard there's a Whole Cake Island update going on right now. But he's focused on Battle Royale instead of the world itself, adding cool new shiny items instead of events, or just having more to do than just one boss at the center of each island. And this is a point I'd like to temporarily dive into. Why do these One Piece games keep making the point of every island a boss? Imagine if the point of Orisa from Deep Woken was just its boss, which many of you may not know what I'm talking about, but Orisa in the game Deep Woken is an island that is vast, with many monsters, a camp, land to explore, factions fighting each other, caves. Deep Woken has so much depth to it here that you wouldn't even guess this island has a boss. But if you enter this secret portal, there is one. However, if you hop on a One Piece game, there's simply a giant castle filled with bandits and a boss at the center of the castle. In One Piece, Luffy has dozens of episodes to explore the island he goes on. If he just hopped on an island and the main antagonist was right there, One Piece would be like 20 episodes. Now, obviously, I'm not saying GPO or Blox Fruits or games like these need to have so much content that it would take episodes on top of episodes, but at least try to mimic what games like Deep Woken have achieved. I got off topic there, but taking us further into the alternate causes of the Roblox drought was the death of a couple games other than GPO and Project Slayers. I don't know much about Type Soul, but I've heard it got held for a major update, and when the game came back, it fell off, now only sitting at 1K players, and games like Peroxide not getting many new things, and Deep Woken, well, it's actually doing how it usually does. But my point is that all these downfalls or events happening with all of these games that we used to love and adore, I believe is not just a giant coincidence causing this drought. I believe as our patience to play good games has diminished and brain rot naturally took over, more and more of the brain rot is produced, and not anime Roblox, but Roblox itself gets more saturated and saturated. The younger audience has loved this change, and as developers realize their success with brain rot games that have less effort, they produce more and more of them. And even the older audience has diverted from such games with depth. Now, I'm not saying we have diverted into brain rot like our younger counterparts, but a lot of us wouldn't want to hop on a game that has more depth to it, like old GPO or Project Slayers or any open world Roblox game out there. Many of us, including even myself sometimes, would rather just hop on a Battlegrounds game or a game that is much easier and faster paced like live service games, Marvel Rivals or Valorant. Games like these that have accordingly blown up as they match our new level of patience to a T. A game where instead of building something to achieve a better earned, higher quality dopamine reward, you press play, maybe use a couple of abilities, and you're there. And it makes perfect sense. Why do you think Attack on Titan games where it is mission-based and not open world are doing so well? Why has Jujutsu Shenanigans not dropped in players at all? Why do some of these games have hundreds of thousands of players? Why didn't they fall off with Peroxide or Deep Woken or GPO or Project Slayers? It's because of what is going on behind the scenes, sure, but our adaptation to cheaper dopamine is definitely a huge underlying cause that I think doesn't just have to be addressed in only anime Roblox or even Roblox. But the gaming industry as a whole must realize the dramatic change our reaction to dopamine has gone through. And not just gaming either, but the content industry as a whole. There are people who go into movie theaters nowadays, and whenever there are parts of the movie that are boring or purposefully not filled with action to explain the plot, a lot of us are just on our phones. We play a game with a YouTube video in the background. Every commentary video needs Subway Surfers or Minecraft parkour. We are stimulating away our creativity, and if we don't stop, soon it will be the death of good games on all platforms, and they will be filled with only the most instantly stimulating games. We have already seen this with social media. Everything is in short form. Every video is being edited in the Mr. Beast style to give constant video effects and sound effects to get every hit of stimulation going. We have stopped caring about the drawn out storytelling, and not the overstimulating kind, but the tame masterpiece-like storytelling that would have you watch a YouTube video and after you would just sit there for 5 minutes taking it all in. So my question to you, the audience, is if social media has abandoned quality in masterpieces and prioritized cheap stimulation to satisfy our new needs that don't provide value but just keeps you going, what is stopping gaming from going in the same direction? We use the same overstimulated brain brains for gaming, don't we? So why wouldn't that reflect onto how gaming is being developed? Who is to say it hasn't already been affecting it? How we used to watch a movie or play a really good game, and when we finished it, we would get happy, sit there and ponder, reflect on just how everything fit together, the plot, the world building, the characters, the villains. Now take that thought and compare it to today, when you get off a session of scrolling on whatever app you use, which could literally be Facebook at this point. Do you feel happy? Do you get that lasting happiness after doing that thing and reflect on it and feel glad that you did it? Or does that cheap dopamine instantly collapse? Do you start regretting that you scrolled that day? Do you wish you had done your responsibilities instead? Do you start to feel like all your time has been stolen from you in the name of satisfying a dopamine spike instead of satisfying you? That it was all in the name of spiking a chemical in your brain that would only help the moment but provide no value to your actual life after? This is the direction the entire entertainment industry is going in. Whether it's YouTube, social media, gaming, anime, Roblox, anything entertainment will start becoming a parasite to you instead of aiding your overall joy in life. It comes and sucks away your time, and after that temporary cheap happiness, it sucks away your baseline mood and you regret doing that activity day after day, year after year. I thought at first while researching for this video that there would just be a couple issues causing the drought, which there was, but then I dug deeper. I looked into the downfall of not anime Roblox, but the overtake of brain rot onto Roblox in general, the overtake of brain rot on the social media, the overtake of live service games into the gaming world, and the cause of its current drought. And I kept digging until I realized all these dots connect. And now putting it into the light of what has come upon us in the last 5 years, it is clear to me. You who are watching this video, I truly recommend to you that you don't fall into the trap of stimulating yourself every day with cheap dopamine, as this is not how us humans were meant to be. Dopamine is a chemical that only lasts and brings us true happiness when it is earned. So start doing hard things. Watch a movie instead of a short. Beat a Minecraft world. Do a workout. Dare I say it, maybe even read a book that you actually are interested in and not one that your teacher forces you to read that was written 100 years ago. These activities will suck at first and you will dread doing them. But what if I told you that's the whole point? Would climbing a mountain really feel good if you could just teleport to the top? Would getting muscles and big arms really feel good and bring you happiness if you could snap your fingers and get that physique? We were meant to do hard things that suck. That is why our brain rewards us for doing so and why society has gone so far. If we were really meant to not always work towards the next hardest thing, even if it sucked, then the cavemen back then would have been satisfied just eating a piece of meat every now and then and getting their stimulation from that, but they wanted more. They realized that when they did things that sucked, it changed their environment and it changed the course of their life. If they ran, their fat was gone. If they cooked their food, it tasted better than being raw. If they built a house, they could stay warm. But these good feelings were locked behind effort. They had to get up early and run around every day. They had to hit rocks together over and over to get that fire. But the journey makes the goal. If they didn't have to run every day to get rid of that fat, well, being fit now wouldn't matter to them. It wouldn't please them. And there is no journey and no hard work to open up TikTok and start scrolling. So please, even if it's just one simple thing like watching a movie instead of shorts, or cooking your food instead of ordering Uber Eats, or talking to someone in public instead of sitting on your phone, do something that sucks today. It's what you were meant to do, which is why the anime Roblox drought goes way deeper than you think.